Hey everyone, welcome back to the TalkMates. I'm Lena, and if you're new here, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you found us. This channel is basically your best friend for learning real, natural English. Not textbook English, not boring grammar drills, real conversations, real expressions, the kind of stuff you'd actually hear people say every day.
And I'm Max, co-host, football fanatic, and the guy who got way too emotionally invested in a sports tournament this summer. Like, embarrassingly invested. Lena literally had to check on me after one of the matches.
I did. I genuinely did. I knocked on his door and he was just sitting there in silence, staring at the wall.
It was a tough match, okay? We don't need to bring that up right now.
We absolutely do, because that's actually what today's episode is all about. The FIFA World Cup 2026. And honestly, whether you love football or you've never watched a single game in your life, this episode is going to teach you so much real English.
Because think about it. When something like the World Cup happens, everyone's talking about it. At work, at the coffee shop, on social media, in your WhatsApp groups. And if you don't know the right words and expressions, you just kind of sit there nodding.
And we don't want that for you. So today we're going to teach you natural English through real conversations about the World Cup. The excitement, the drama, the heartbreak, all of it. You're going to walk away from this episode sounding like a native speaker when football comes up.
And trust me, it's gonna come up. For the next few weeks, it's all anyone's talking about. So let's get into it.
Let's go. Okay, so Max, can we just talk about the build-up to this World Cup? Because I feel like people have been losing their minds about it for months.
Losing their mind. Yes, that is exactly the right phrase. And actually, let's pause on that for a second. Losing your mind, it doesn't mean you've gone crazy. It means you're so excited or overwhelmed that you can barely contain yourself.
Right. Like you could say, I'm losing my mind over the World Cup tickets, or she was losing her mind when her team qualified.
Exactly. And the build-up, that's another great one. The build-up is everything that happens leading up to a big event. The anticipation, the press conferences, the fan theories, the predictions.
I love that word, build up. It kind of sounds like what it means, doesn't it? Like tension that's building up slowly.
Totally. And with this World Cup, the build-up was massive. Partly because it's being hosted across the US, Canada, and Mexico. 3 countries sharing one tournament. That's never happened on this scale before.
Which is wild, right? Like, you've got fans flying between New York and Los Angeles for different matches. People were saying it's the most ambitious World Cup ever hosted.
Yeah, and ambitious is such a good word here. It means bold, challenging, something that requires a lot of effort and courage to pull off. You can use it for events, for people, for ideas.
Like, that was an ambitious plan, or she's an ambitious person. She's not afraid of big goals.
Exactly. And whether you're ambitious in your career, your studies, or just your Netflix watch list, it all works.
My Netflix watch list is extremely ambitious. I keep adding things I'll never watch.
We all do. We all do.
Okay, but back to the World Cup. How are you feeling in the weeks before it kicked off? And kicked off, we should explain that one too.
Oh yeah. Kicked off literally comes from football. It's when the referee blows the whistle and the game begins. But in everyday English, we use it to mean any event or thing that starts.
Like, the festival kicked off on Friday, or the meeting kicked off with some bad news.
Right. And for me personally, the weeks before the tournament kicked off, I was absolutely buzzing.
Buzzing! Okay, that's another one. Buzzing means feeling full of energy and excitement. Like you're vibrating with it.
Yeah, I'm buzzing, or the crowd was buzzing. It means there's this electric, alive kind of energy. You feel it in the air.
I love that one because it's so physical. You can almost feel it when you say it.
Exactly. And the atmosphere at the stadiums, at least from everything I've seen and read, was absolutely buzzing. Tens of thousands of fans from every corner of the world.
Okay, so let's talk about watching the actual matches. Because watching football, or any sport, with other people creates this whole vocabulary of its own.
It really does. And one of the most important phrases is nail biting. A nail-biting match is one that's so close and tense that you're literally biting your nails with nerves.
Which is a real thing people do, by the way. I've caught myself doing it.
Oh, I've done it multiple times this tournament. A nail-biting match, a nail-biting finish, it means right up until the very last moment you have no idea who's going to win.
And the opposite? When a game isn't exciting at all, you might say it was flat, or even a snooze fest.
A snooze fest. That's a casual one. It means something was so boring it made you want to sleep. That first half was a total snooze fest. You can use it for movies, meetings, dates.
Dates?
Not that I would know anything about that.
Sure. Okay, what about when a team wins really convincingly? Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, so there are a few ways to say that. You could say they dominated the match. That means they were clearly in control the whole time. Or you could say the other team got thrashed or demolished.
Thrashed and demolished. Those are pretty strong, right? You'd use those for a really big gap in the score.
Yeah, like a 4 or 5 goal difference. You wouldn't say a team was demolished if they lost by 1 goal. But if it was a landslide?
Landslide! That's another great one, a landslide win. It comes from geology, when a whole side of a hill just collapses and slides down. But in English, we use it to mean an overwhelming victory.
Especially in sports and politics. She won the election in a landslide. It was a landslide victory for the home team.
And the emotions after a match. Oh my gosh. The vocabulary of feelings after a game is so rich.
Gutted. If your team loses, you feel gutted. It means devastated, deeply disappointed. Like someone reached in and took something out of you.
That's such a vivid one. I was absolutely gutted when they went out in the quarterfinals.
Which, not to bring up old wounds, is something I personally experienced this tournament.
He was staring at the wall.
I was processing.
On the flip side, if your team wins against all expectations, you're over the moon.
Over the moon. Classic English expression. Means incredibly happy. Like you're so happy you floated up to the moon.
She was over the moon when they scored in extra time. And speaking of extra time, that's worth explaining too for people who don't follow football closely.
Right. Extra time is the additional time played at the end of a match when the score is tied and a winner has to be found. It's usually 30 more minutes split into 2 halves.
And then if it's still tied after extra time?
Penalties. And if you want to see grown adults cry, just watch a penalty shootout.
It's genuinely one of the most stressful things in sport. Your heart is just, it's in your throat.
Heart in your throat. Perfect expression. It means you're so nervous or scared that you feel like your heart has moved up into your throat. Almost like you can feel it beating there.
Okay, let's talk about some of the language around teams and players. Because this is where a lot of English learners get stuck. They understand the game, but they don't know how to talk about the people in it.
Right. So one of the big ones is the underdogs. The underdogs are the team that nobody expects to win. They're the outsider, the surprise, the one everyone's kind of rooting for secretly.
And rooting for, that means supporting someone, especially when you want them to succeed. I'm rooting for the underdog. It's warm, it's emotional. It means you're emotionally invested in their success.
Every World Cup has a story about an underdog team, and those are usually the matches people remember the most. The upsets.
An upset, that's so important. An upset in sports means when the weaker team beats the stronger team. When the result is the opposite of what everyone predicted.
Yeah. It's funny because in everyday English, upset usually means emotionally distressed. She was upset. But in sports, an upset is a surprising result.
Context is everything in English. And the World Cup is full of upsets.
That's part of what makes it so exciting. You genuinely can't predict it.
And then there are the superstars. The players everyone's watching. The ones who carry their whole team on their shoulders.
Carry the team on their shoulders. That's a beautiful idiom. It means one person is responsible for most of the success. The pressure is on them, and they deliver.
You could use that in any context. At work, she really carried the team on her shoulders this quarter. In a group project, we've all been there.
We have definitely all been there.
And when a player has an incredible tournament, people say they stepped up. They rose to the occasion.
Step up means to perform better than expected when it really matters. When the stakes are high and you deliver. He really stepped up in the knockout rounds.
And the knockout rounds, that's the stage of the tournament where if you lose, you're out. No second chances. One game, winner goes through, loser goes home.
Goes home. That's the phrase they use. Not loses or is eliminated. They just say the team went home, which is kind of sad when you think about it.
It is sad, especially when you see the players' faces after. But then, and this is something I genuinely love about football, the losing team still comes out, applauds their fans, and the fans applaud back.
That's class. And class is a word football fans use a lot. It means dignity, grace, excellence in character. That was a real show of class from the players.
Love that one. She handled the criticism with a lot of class. It works everywhere.
Okay, let's talk about some mistakes that English learners often make when they're talking about football and sports in general, because there are a few tricky ones.
The big one, and I hear this all the time, is confusing draw and tie. In British English, when a match ends with the same score on both sides, it's called a draw. In American English, it's a tie.
So if you're watching football in the UK or with British people, you'd say the match ended in a draw, or they drew. But in the US, you'd more commonly hear it was a tie, or they tied.
Neither is wrong, it's just a regional difference. But don't say they drawed. That's not a word. The past tense of draw in this context is just drew.
They drew 2-2, not they drawed. That one makes people wince a little.
Another mistake, saying, I watched the World Cup when you mean a specific game. You'd say, I watched the World Cup match, or I watched the game, or even I watched the match. I watched the World Cup sounds like you watched the entire tournament from start to finish.
Which, honestly, some people do.
Some people absolutely do, and good for them.
Also, make a goal versus score a goal. This is a really common one. In English, you don't make a goal. You score a goal.
He scored a brilliant goal in the second half. Not he made a goal. Scoring is the verb. It sounds small, but it makes a big difference to how natural you sound.
And one more, assist. A lot of learners say he made an assist. It's more natural to say he got an assist, or he assisted the goal, or just he set it up.
He set it up is actually really natural. Like, he played a perfect through ball and set up the goal. Very clean, very native.
These little things, they add up. And the more you notice them in real conversations, the more naturally they come to you. All right, it's time for our favorite part, interactive practice. And this is where you actually get to use everything we've talked about today.
So here's what we want you to do. Imagine you're texting a friend about a World Cup match you just watched. Maybe your team won, maybe they lost, maybe it went to penalties, and you need to describe it using some of the expressions from today.
Try to use at least 3 of the phrases we taught you. So that could be nail-biting, buzzing, over the moon, gutted, stepping up, rooting for, landslide, the underdogs, any of them.
For example, your text might sound like, oh my gosh, that match was absolutely nail-biting. I was gutted when they missed that penalty, but then, can you believe it? They stepped up in extra time and scored. I'm over the moon right now.
See how natural that sounds? And you can write your own version in the comments. We genuinely read them. Well, Max reads them.
I read all of them. Every single one, and I reply sometimes when I can.
He does. He's very dedicated.
I care about the community. But yes, write your practice text in the comments, use the vocabulary, don't be shy. Making mistakes is how you learn.
And if you want an extra challenge, describe a moment from a match you actually watched, or even a match you've heard about. Real context makes the vocabulary stick so much better.
100%. The more personal you make it, the more it becomes yours.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick summary of everything we covered today because there was a lot.
There really was. We talked about the excitement and anticipation, losing your mind, buzzing, the build-up, ambitious, kicked off.
Then we talked about reacting to matches. Nail-biting,
Gutted, over the moon, heart in your throat, dominated, thrashed, landslide, snooze fest.
And then the vocabulary around teams and players. Underdogs, rooting for, upset, carrying the team on your shoulders, stepping up, knockout rounds, class.
plus common mistakes. The difference between draw and tie, scoring versus making a goal, and how to talk about assists naturally.
That's a full episode right there. Honestly, if you use even half of these in the next week, your English is going to sound so much more natural.
And the thing is, the World Cup gives you so many opportunities to practice right now. Watch a match, listen to the commentary, read about it, talk to people about it. The language is everywhere.
Even if you're not a football fan, even if you genuinely don't care who wins, the language is useful because people around you care, and being able to talk with them about it is real communication.
That's what we're here for. Real English for real life. And this is about as real as it gets right now.
Huge thank you for spending this time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend who's learning English. It's honestly the best way to help us grow and help more people sound natural.
And subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new episodes regularly, and every single one is designed to make you sound more like yourself, just in English.
See you next time.